me ma da lo me ma o lo me ma da lo mo ma lo mo ye una mo we lo de ni mo ngaba de bobo ya lo de ma ngaba de bobo ya lo de ma ngaba de bobo e kuna ya lo ewa na ewa una me welo momie e kuna ngwe lo de mi mo ya lo de ma ngaba de bobo ana de kona o ga egina ana de kona o ga egina ewa ana ewa donde manu na muye donde manu na muye donde manu na wela boga egina ye ne wela boga egina ye no egana longera nyanga ana egana lomo karenye duga lomo bo anama duga lomo bo ana ele ngabe mwe ana ele ngabe mwe ya kuna lomo miwa ena mwe na londe mimo ya londe ma ngabade ipobo ya londe ma ngabade ipobo ana elo ngabe mwe ewala ana ewa ewala na ewa donde manu na muye ana elo elawa yena we lomo miwa kunu na mwiwe londe mimoe ya dem anga bade ibobo ana kwetumo ana adopanyo malongo na wasamyo sambela ngjuwa ba walongo enganwa kwale kamobo kabalo ne tubo ewa ana ewa lo ne manu na muye na ewa lo ne manu na muye Muadanga onganwa daona duale ngabe mwe duale kuna moge no derubo dabalie dili nyangela diega na bebo age lo debo daba mwe dali ba mongwalo gayele li ba teo gayele li ba wolongo dale nyarela digo mwebu nyangwe da mongwe nyanga duba diga monukwe ke dale ya malongo wo baleye peraga yetebo ya moyo ke ya mo pabale mema malone baleye nga ya mo baleye nga ya mo baleye nga Danga delu molebo da denga ba dunga ma yango dia dia ke ya ba lungwa we ya no wo ba le yenga kwera ga ye debo ewa lo te manu na muye lo te manu ewa lo ne manu na muye Analine kwela galo nebo Analine kwela galo nebo Ana elo Malono na samyo, malono na samyo. Monge bae kasamyo, monge bae kasamyo, monge bao kasamyo. Wanga ni winga noa, wanga ni winga noa. Walu kuna mwega elo newa, walu na mwega elo newa.
Okay, good evening, folks. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for joining us this beautiful Friday. Was sincere apologies the last 2 days not being on because of technical reasons and other problems. But notwithstanding, still not too good. But we have to do what we're supposed to do. And so tonight you're going to see a different a new star right here on this network. He always here. So expect the unexpected tonight because it's about the country. We say good evening to welcome to good evening storyteller woman. Good to have you here. Mr. Gwe is in the house. Venetians, thank you. Wharton Kettle, the newly recruited independent guy. Angel Brown, good to have you here. Welcome to the show. So tonight we're gonna have there's gonna be a new moderator. Going to be in charge, and I think moving forward, that's something we're going to be doing. My man Trocon to good evening from the oil area there in North Dakota. Welcome to the show. A lot is ongoing, so let's have the conversation. Hopefully, they're going to be here. You will not see the Labor potentially because the Labor is going through a transition to right now. After he caused trouble with me, and then he walked by. That is okay. But we want to welcome you, and let me see what I can bring in. The host here for tonight's program. I'll hang up with him here, but I hope more or less he's going to be in charge, and hopefully the Liberal will send his guy here. Welcome to the show. This is Lpr-Tv Live with the Analysts. Okay, there we go. Good evening. I'm Alfonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Good to have you here this evening, as usual. Always having news, information, and entertainment. But tonight we're going to have it a different way. The Liberal, he threw his gua. He tried to send a gua on my left eye. The last 2 days, I'm just forced to come to be here, but I'm doing okay. But he thinks that's the way. They want to silence the independent voices on this network. He has colluded with Jerry Bacon, Boasham Bacon, to do what it did. After I met Jerry Bacon at the program, apparently it was given to Bacon. Bacon shook my hand, rubbed my eye, and then my left eye got infected. But I'm doing okay after I visit. We couldn't come on last 2 days, but today we got to do it. So tonight I'm going to bring one of the moderate for which Jerry Bacon, the CC, and the Liberal don't like him. So I'm going to get them to get peace mode because tonight he's going to be in charge. But we have talked behind the scenes. So if Jerry Bacon comes on here tonight, he's on his own. So let me bring in Mr. Terry Collins. We're going to lead a talking point here this evening. Terry Collins is our senior political analyst. More or less is a moderate guy. He supports the administration of Joseph Boyka, but he's not in the choir group of that of Jerry Bacon and the Liberal on this network. So they try to keep distance for him, but Terry didn't get time for them. They're on their own. Yeah, are you hearing me now?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, Mr. Sir.
Okay, Mr. Collins, good to have you here. Good evening, as usual. Thank you. You're gonna be leading the charges against the two liberals on this network. The main liberal will not be here, that for sure. But nothing is guaranteed. He's transitioning to, so a lot going on right now. I guess he didn't even tell you that how he operates. So once he talked to Jerry Bacon, he feels that's it. So you're going to be leading the charges against them here this evening. So
they don't want for us to know what's going on.
Well, I don't know, but you two, I told you about the behavior. Give me a minute. I need to do some quick replacement here. I told you, but I think you're getting to understand who the liberal is, right? Yeah. So it's just how the liberal don't want the liberal. He doesn't want people to do stuff. I got to do a replacement here quickly here, but we can still manage what I'm doing there. Yeah, but other than that, how is everything from your end, Mr. Collins?
Yeah, it's Minnesota. The weather is changing. It's like we're having rains instead of sun. So I think they call it the spring. I know spring summer. There's a name that they give it here. Or not spring summer, but fall summer. Enter August, we're going into fall. So they call it fall summer.
He not saying he man. Yeah, let me bring him in. But anyway, we finished talking about things that we're supposed to talk. So he's coming. Nothing wrong with that. So
Mr. Bacon, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Bacon, how are you, Chief?
Yeah, don't be afraid. I'm doing excellent. I'm doing good.
Oh, but is it like you think you need to tell? Oh, there's something. Terry, look at the guy. You're a foreign national security advisor to the president.
I tell you. Did they call Labor on an assignment? Yeah. The president. Oh, that one is in it. Did the president call Labor? Okay. I will not be surprised.
Don't worry.
I will not be surprised.
That's the behavior of this guy. He's literally telling you on your own. You don't need to know. You get nothing to do with. You know how he and his guy can talk. So
yeah,
that's who they are. But 2 days we haven't been on. Your guy, since I met you the last program, you shook my hand. My understanding, the Liberal told me he sent a dust to you in my left eye.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah. I told Terry the information that you try to make my eye to be something so that I can't be the guy to be talking here so that you and your Liberal will get your stuff. But the doctor, I went to the doctor today. The doctor told me they call your knee, they call the Liberal knee, and there's another guy. Yeah, they try to send Goa on me. This is the guy who am I said in the same state next door to me. He's taking Goa from Samson Toll to me.
Wow.
You ever seen that before? Went to doctor and the doctor just like the doctor or like a soothsayer because the full description of these guys, the guy wears glasses. One of the guy lives in land. He's not too far from you. Full description. How did white guy manage to know that all of these things happen? So but Jerry Bacon and your guy Samson, I can tell you, your playing field, it failed completely. So what I've done, the eye is still not correct here. So they asked me to rest. So my guy, Mr. Terry Collins, is no longer part of you guys because all you're in your choir singing. Mr. Collins is going to be prosecuting a case against you and your Liberal Progressive this evening. How's that?
Well, let me say this to you. See, the Hebrew philosopher said, what benefit will I do if I alone see and the rest of the people will not succeed?
Are you afraid of your system?
Yeah,
you are.
Your internet tripping.
Yeah, he's guilty already. That's what happened. That's a clear indication of he's surprised to see, or he know that I'm not going to be on again. Are you hearing?
Right. Let me say this. Let me say this to you. Oh, yeah, now and clear. No, I come here. You just make a statement. Let me say this to you. I think I was saying something. I said the Hebrew philosopher, one of the philosophers, or one of the, he said, what benefit would do me if I'm succeed and the rest of the people not succeed? So that's what it is. But anyway, here you are. Your mark went off. You must say in the town, you cannot train me. You can walk from your house to my house. Yeah, how much you enter Boakai? And you may mention this at Boakai, so you don't want to train me on the show. And it's in the chat room. You put it there. That's evidence. It's there. You rather train Terry way in Minnesota, whereby you can count my horse, walking distance, but you are so anti-Boakai, so that because Jerry want to come here and talk about Boakai, so for that reason, you rather not train me to take. But that's okay. That's all right. Look, I'm here to stay. The day you give my letter and say, Jerry, we don't want you, I'll be here. Whether you anti-Boakai, you're not anti-Boakai. I will always say thank you for giving the privilege and the opportunity man from me and Doru to come on a show for people to listen to me. It's a privilege. I wouldn't take that away.
What we do here, we train young
no matter
adults.
How you classify me, what you think about me. But first of all, you are giving me the opportunity. So it's left myself.
So yeah, Mr. Bacon, here's the thing.
You're
youth again. We try to train the young generation to take. Training you now. We're good with I in year time you retire, then we can't go train. So I don't want to waste resources. So we go to the young youth adults, not the full grown adult. Okay, guys, good to have you here. But like on a serious note, been feeling very, very horrible since yesterday, today. But
that's good.
Yeah. So, Mr. Collins, you will lead the race here tonight. We want to make our audience to understand everything. Don't expect everything to go 100%, but I know you're going to go well. Do not allow Jerry Bacon Washington to run this train here, because he will potentially be receiving text messages from his guy Liberal and think that he's going to overrun the show. If that happens, if I have to call my doctor to come back, I will come back. Jerry Bacon, Mr. Bacon will not have his way. They are liberal. Their sole purpose is to liberalize this network so they can take it. We have to take our network back. Yes. Whether he like it or not, I have to say. He says
you sound like Mr. Uriel.
Who? Benedict Uriel?
Benedict Uriel.
Yeah, but that he's another friend. That's another friend of him. That's what I'm using their words so that he would know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you didn't know he's a friend of Benedict Uriel as well?
Oh, I didn't know that, Mr. Bacon.
Mr. Bacon is well connected.
But Mr. Bacon is an old school. He's been around for long.
Oh, yeah. You know what it means to be an old cop? He was, so he's, yeah. So sometimes when I talk, then I take a break because I don't want this guy. You never know, in the next year or two, you're going to be in charge with the police, the National Police Force or DAE.
Oh, yeah, we'll be happy for that.
Yeah, but the thing I don't like about them right now, you saw our man, the CDC professor that were here, you and they can be friendly, but by the time they get in government, then they close up. That's why when they hear, I do my own, because when they go now, then I got no regret. So Jerry now, we all friendly. I go to a house, we have good meal, we share glasses, we do everything. By the way, I think he's a Catholic. You're Catholic, right? Are you're Catholic, Jared, Mr. Barco? Yeah. But
Yes, I am.
when you enter his compound on the porch,
Yes, I am.
you get almost
I got
10
four.
feet
I
back.
got 4 degrees. I'm not a Columbus. I got 4 degrees.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is, Colin, when you enter his yard on his porch, before you go first step, second step, one on each porch, you will see one big cooler there. When you open it, you will see variety of variety of different types of wine. I'm like, oh, how the Calipo can do it?
Oh yeah, the Cali can enjoy themselves.
Oh, they can call it by.
In that brother used to have a year-end party. The priest himself can be there.
They can, oh yeah, they can go it by way. And you go there, sometimes you go there, you see all the follower, the sister, everybody there, they're doing their own thing. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good this is a good congregation to be in. Okay, guys.
That's the holy ground. We pray for you. That's the holy ground.
Let me turn over to you. I will be here. I will be monitoring if need be. If you have issue with the audience, I will be monitoring anything. Just let me know, folks. Mr. Collins is going to be in charge here this evening, and I think we need to do this now too. People don't gotta get sick, and then you send. I think with me or without me, liberal. I think all of us, everybody should be able to, run this network. Everybody capable of doing this. So. Yes. Okay, Mr. Collins, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. So, good evening to the audience, and this is LPR Network. We are back on the Friday's edition, and we want to bring you the news as it has been trending. So, and also, Mr. Bacon, you are welcome to the LPR Friday night edition. What's on your mind? You hear me, Mr. Bacon?
Yeah, loud and clear. Yo, I can hear you. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, what's on your mind? What's on your mind? What's the trending issue on your mind?
There are a couple of things on my mind. The MCC calling for dismissal of employees at the Arrested Cooperation. It's alarming. This is a free country. People should be able to speak their mind, not because you not agree with the administration or for the administrator. So for that reason, we should call for the dismissal. I think we have passed that time whereby we centralize people for speaking out their mind. It's an employee. There's many ways to dismiss them, but for the I listened to it, and I was not too happy about it. But I hope this thing will be addressed, and it's also it's a fragmentation on the administration and here. So, okay, we are back. So,
yeah,
now one of the things on my mind, and one of the things is the central, the civil service agency, the CSA. There's a lesson. People do this thing, and we have to have some. I don't know. People do research before they make. If you go back, maybe you're small at that time. I was small myself. In the 80s, they did the same thing. The redundancy, dual administration. On a dual administration, there was reduction. People, this is a thing that brings rebellion. And we have to do it through gradual process. And it began a pattern within Liberia now. When Joshua came to say humanization, they did it. Now, worker administration. I mean, it's the alarm. Dual administration, they did the same thing. They were going to redundant people. And it brought a lot of hostility to the government. And we have to go back and look at it. What were the reaction of the people and see what's going on in the area. So something that I'm concerned about. But anyway, I have something that I wanted to talk about, but let's go ahead and talk, let's do your own introduction and we'll take it from there. Thank you.
Well, I'm moderating, so you can go ahead. Just give me what you got on your plate. Then we can pick from one of those and talk about it, because I don't want to be the one to suggest a discussion because I'm moderating. So since we're both here, you can just open up, tell me what's on your plate, and then we can pick up on it and talk about it.
All right. The next thing is I was doing a research on Sunday program, and I went back to TI. Something caught my eyes as the IG going. You call it community policing or engaged in community policing, and you were in in Canada today. And something caught my eye. I was able to go back and look at the TLC report, TRC report, and I listened to Mr. Senator from Nima County, and he gave a lot of information, how the military should work, how the police should work. Up to this time, we have not put no mechanisms in place. And I listened to the IG when he went to Nima County. What are the policies they putting in place? Take, for example, the army is not even ready. Then I listened to Mr. Taylor, Senator Johnson report or his testimony. He gave a lot of information for us to work with, especially those who are in the security field and those who are still working in the security field. Why? Nima County is a strategic area. If you look at the history of the war, it started in Butu, and we have border with Aricos. Quillian Esther, welcome. Thanks for coming. Clara David, okay. So up to this time, we are not something they call central command. We are not even half a central command to be able to respond if any eventuality something happen in our country again. So this, I think we need to start putting in place. I'm not saying there's going to be a war again, but we have to prepare. It's very alarming. I hope the IG who go into from county to county.
So what you think actually missing? What you think actually the IG
will be addressing with the community.
Okay. So you getting me? So what you think actually is missing that the IG is missing? Do you think the community policing that he's trying to introduce, there are some things that is missing?
Oh yeah, there's a lot that missing. It's not just policing. Community policing is not just go out there and talk to the people and say this is what it is. Here we are. Nima County got about 9 districts. See here in Nima County, I'll focus on Nima County right now. Nima County got about 9 districts. And within that district, we got only one county commander. The county commander, so if somebody in District 9 or in District 5, if anything, how they have to do. So in able for the decentralized government, yes, somebody will come from, if you're familiar with Nima County, somebody will come from Tapeta who want to get a police clearance. She or he have to come to Monrovia to get a police clearance. We have the National Police Department. It's controlled by the whole country. If somebody come from Seclepi or from Bound, they have to come to Monrovia to do it. So community policing is not just a physical aspect of it. We have to intimate with the community. Here, for example, the college, the university, the hospital. What are some of the plans that we're going to do if there's a disaster? So these are community issues that we have to discuss with the administrator, the IG, and the county attorney, or the district attorney within that county. If this happens, what are we going to do? Because the county attorney, he is the minister of justice within that county. So she or he, you got to work with him or work with her. So.
But don't you think the first start is important, like what he's trying to do, like go there, engage the people, give them a position as to what he want to do, his intentions and all that, before he can proceed into doing
Oh
exactly what, like, you know?
no, I'm just throwing out there. I mean, I commencing for him to go to the county to see what's going in the county. I'm just saying, I'm just giving it. I'm not criticizing what have not been done,
Okay.
but I'm making a recommendation. I'm just making a recommendation to them as well. You know, these are the issues that will affect the county. And we have to do this county. So let's get involved into our community.
Yeah, the
And there's
internet is...
some place. All right. Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, so, however,
So there are some places that there are some places we have to have an outreach program in the community. It is not the policing before what married or demarried or us and stuff like that. Today it's a proactive police department now. The 21st century is a proactive police department. It's not like before. Don't wait until something happens. Or they turn the news. It's not like a fire department policing anymore. The law enforcement. Before then you gotta wait until the fire happened before you gotta go put the fire. No. This time we have to be proactive. Always anticipate.
yeah. So, however, let us progress. I took an eye on what you were talking about, and about the CSA boss, the action taking against one of the MCC employees. He recommended, and as I learned, that he was recommending that the MCC boss fire a couple of people because of the position or the way in which they reacted to the president. What do you think about that?
Sorry. This is why we have freedom of speech. If it's a threat to the national security, is or something. But the person is saying, it's the government is corrupt. Let the person say that's their freedom. Is the government corrupt? It's not calling anything. It's not calling for to say we're going to for the government or to try to honor the government. If you say the people that are with, he have, as a citizen, he have a right to criticize the institution he works for. If you feel that the institution is not doing good, he can leave. And if you work with MCC, he can leave MCC and go work with any place, or he can go open your own business. So that's not a reason to say you're going to dismiss a person. No. If any other reason, he can go to the HR. You violate the policy. Violating the policy is something different. But comparing to say, MCC, they are corrupt. The institution you work for, if you criticize it, fine. Go find another job. And, if you don't like the way MCC operate, you're not going to go there and dismiss a person because you say, oh, MCC is not doing this and stuff like that. No.
So you are criticizing.
So we have to be very careful how come we
criticizing the MCC decision, right?
It's not a military government. Yeah.
So you are criticizing. So my point is, don't they have a book of behavioral conduct that for all employees? That I think there are behavioral conduct. There are manual. The MCC is supposed to have a policy. All right, that governs employees. As an employer, as an employee, you cannot just jump on and start abusing. It don't have to be the president. You cannot just jump on and start abusing people in the building or cursing people everywhere. Your conduct on the outside should reflect anything you do, even if you are not in the working environment. Whatsoever you do outside, don't you think they have a book there that's supposed to guide you as an employee of the MCC? You getting me?
Well,
Or the
you see,
internet?
yeah, I agree. No, I agree. I agree. But here's the thing. You see, there's a policy and there's a code of conduct. Okay? So the policy said this and the code of conduct said that. But you as the employee or as an employer, first of all, you see, there are 3 steps you can take. First, you got a verbal warning, written warning, and dismissal. Okay? So you have to go through these things. If you do HR, human resource management, if you do it, these are steps you have to follow. I mean, all depends the gravity of the crime. You can go straight from this from not reprimanding or suspension. You can still go to space or to dismissal. But at the same time, these are steps you got to take because also because if you just me right now. So this, I think we're talking about. It's a reflection on the government.
That's what I'm saying. Because
criticize the government. If you wanted to discipline him, if you wanted, yes, well, I'm saying there. If you want to discipline, you can discipline. But if you use the word, say, because the way he talked to the government, the way he talked, then it becomes an issue. Then it becomes a political issue.
I think that
that's the point I'm making.
I would want to side.
But if you say the way he talked to the president.
Yeah, I think I want to side with you a little bit because, but what I don't want to agree with is that everybody's saying that they're rushing to the code of conduct. The code of conduct should be the final arbitrary of the decision. We shouldn't be rushing to the code of conduct because every employee in a working environment or a governmental agency have books that guide them, and based upon the rules, decisions can be made against them. Sometimes you don't even have to go through investigation. Based upon the rules from the handbook, can inform the HR to run a decision on you. You understand? So what I'm trying to do is that with people just running quick to the code of conduct, because you run into the Constitution to be the last result. To fire somebody, there are laws that person working under that are guiding them. Besides the laws, there are behavioral manual for how they're supposed to conduct themselves in working environments and even outside of working environments. All right, that should prompt administration to take action on you when you go contrary to what is. So I think that we need to exhaust all these points first before we can make a decision or make a final conclusion that the MCC boss was wrong for taking action. That's my position.
Look, I want to say your point. I got your point, but at the same time, like what I work, for example, every 3 months, every 3 months, based upon my position, every 3 months, they have to do driving record check. Because I use government vehicle. So for that reason, every 3 months, whether I have a speeding ticket, whether I get a parking ticket and all these things. So every 3 months, it's something that they told me, Jerry, if you get parking ticket at so point, based upon the description of your job, you are subject to discipline or some sort of action. So I'm aware of it. So I agree with you. But what I'm saying to you here, or what I'm saying to the audience is, we cannot just leave from here and say, "Oh, the man." If you want to put a policy, that's great. But once you go into on the media and say because you not agree because he criticized the president, if that is the policy, that's fine. Then you must call the policy and say, based upon our policy, I hope you understand what I'm saying? Based upon the policy, according to rules, so. And so you had a burden on that individual now because you have gone to the public.
So quickly,
this is what happened. So,
so quickly, your point is more like he was more like political, right? So that is where you want to drive. That he was more political, and that his statement did not augurs well for the reflection of the government. That is where you are balancing your opinion. Is that so?
That's precisely that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he had a right. As an employer, you had a right to dismiss a man anything, of course. But what I'm saying is, when you now make the statement that if you threaten the president, that's something different. Like, if you go out there and say, I don't like the government not pay me on time, that's your business. If the government not pay you on time, sir, you can go and find another job because they not pay you on time. You can go to the private sector. So that's what it is. But when you now go to the public and say, we are dismissing Mr. Jabalo because he criticized the government, then it became political. You know what I'm saying? Then you had a burden and say, according to our conduct, or our book of conduct, our book of policy, this is what it may have violated for that reason. He stepped, beyond his boundary. That's my point.
So what would be your recommendation to Josiah Joker or to the government in regards to this particular action? If they were to call you in?
They don't call me. Look, it's a government we are running. We had a government to run. We have about 5.some million people. It's a city corporation. City is a what is it? Maria City Corporation. So when you are in the position, you have to be very careful because it's also a reflection on the government, because the city corporation is a government entity. So you have to be very careful how you make the decision. It's also the reflection on the government. That's what I think we have to think about.
So what would be your recommendation? Do you want these people to be reinstated, or do you want them to still remain fired? What would be your recommendation if you are called in? I understand that your position, your opinion is that, this was wrong and all that. But what would be your recommendation to the CSA boss or to the MCC in regards to such matters?
If I were there, that's what we had the Human Resources Department. The Human Resources Department have to do the investigation, and based upon that, if the gentlemen who they are fired or the people who are employees, the employees have been fired, whether just cause, that's something different. But for my understanding is no, do not fire them, but just cause because they make that arbitrary statement and say, for example, for that reason you're going to dismiss it. No, don't dismiss it. There's other punishment you can do for them. You can suspend it, whatever you can do, but not just because the person criticized the government. So, if there's a policy there, then it's a different issue. Okay, let me go a little bit farther. Let me go a little farther. If the person is a repeated offender, how many times have you spoken to the individual? No. How many times have you spoken to the management position? How many times have you counseled the person? There's a verbal warning and there's a written warning. Okay, so there are times you got to call you. I'll call you my office secretary. I heard this. This is a verbal warning. That means we are just talking. There's nothing going in your file. But once I have given you a written warning, that means something have to go in your file. So that means don't do it again.
But do you know whether if all those measures were taken before coming up with the discussion or with the decision?
I can't say that. But what I'm saying is, if he has said that, he should have said this individual, these are potential violators. They are repeated violators. Let me say potential. They are repeated violators. For that reason, we are dismissing it. Compared to say they criticize the government for that reason we violate. That's my point I'm making.
Okay. So that I was saying now, what is your recommendation as Mr. So can say is Mr. Jerry Bacon or Washington, What would be your recommendation? What would be your recommendation
is
to the president in regards to?
Then the people keep
So
the
they
job.
should
Let the people
retain
keep
the
the
job.
job.
Okay.
Yeah, let people keep the job. They're not doing harm to the. If they are doing harm to the government, then so be it. But the message, I don't let the government not pay me on time. For example, for that reason, if that's the case, go find another job.
So are you saying that I'm sorry, but I'm going to pull your leg a little bit because I want to
Let
be a
go.
little bit critical.
I'm happy.
But are you saying that it is okay to abuse President Booker at any given time as an employee? That all the employees working, like all those that are civil servants in the job description, they have the right, to just abuse the president at any given time, and because of the Freedom of Speech Act, no action should be taken against them?
Oh no, nothing will go on. Look, that's why we have rules and we have rules of law. We have rule of law. You can't just go out there and say because I got freedom. Where your freedom started, where my right began. Remember, because you say I got freedom, so you got to go on the street and take out your private car, you start pee on Broad Street. No, you can't. Not because you got freedom. No, you can't. Not because you say you got freedom.
So, but that's what I'm saying, because there are because you cannot be working as a civil servant, in as much as I do not agree probably with the action, but you cannot be working as civil servant. So what if no decision is made? Sorry if I play the devil advocate. I'm not a devil advocate.
Okay.
I'm
It's
just.
good. It's an
But,
education. It's an education for our audience and also the employees or the employer. So that's
yeah.
good. It's a good discussion.
So I'm working in a government entity that where I'm supposed to be non-political, and I begin to so if no precedent is set on me because I abuse the president, what do you think will happen in the next civil servant agency when they start to abuse the president as well?
Good question. That's why, Terry, we got handbook. What a picture. Oh, what a thing there. Okay. We got handbook, right? We got a handbook here, right? You got a handbook. That's why you have, when you are hired, I don't know how it's done, but when you are hired, or you as a pastor or deacon in the church, they hire deacon, right? Policy as a deacon in the church. Deacon, here's your responsibility. This is your handbook. They give you the church handbook. As a pastor, here's your handbook, right? They give it to you. Right. There's your handbook. So if that person violates the policy, she or he had to be dealt with. They can remove you tomorrow. The board of deacon can tell the board of president, say, you know what, Mr. Pastor, we don't want you went out there and you said so for that reason, you are out. What I'm saying to you here is, if they wanted to do it, because now you had a burden of proof because you are going out there and say the man made a statement against the president, which of course I'm not going to say that somebody go insult the president or go out and go, that's the case. But you had a burden of proof now able to go to court. If she or he had a lawyer now to go to court and say, you know what, they fired me illegally for that reason, I'm going to the court. Then you will go there to the court and say, you know what, here is the handbook. You understand me? That's my point I'm making. So if you want to do it, you got to court. I'm firing the person because he or she make the statement which is contrary to the policy of MCC. That's my point I'm making. You had a burden of proof now, because if you're going to go public, then you had a burden of proof.
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying now. So that means that they should be mean fire until it can be proven that because the problem is bringing them back into the position, reinstating them. Don't it send a signal as well to other people in the same employer that we have discovered a new, because everything you do in government, you must understand is a precedent, all right, for the next person to follow as well. Like right now, because of the president's the president lawyer spoke in the case of Prophet Key. I think you remember that Prophet Key when he went to court in Liberia, because the president lawyer called and spoke in the case and went on national TV and said that he probed into the matter. and quoted a law that was quashed, the freedom of speech law that was revitalized, and based upon that, Prophet King walked out of the temple of justice without any scratch on his body. So now that is the law. That is where most people now are basing their judgment to carry on the same act. So if these people are reinstated, what kind of precedent do you think it will set for other employees that are working in the civil servant employ?
But you see, it just make my case. Now we had a case history. You just make my case. You just make my case. So if she or he have to go to court, now we got a law in the law. You know, freedom of speech. Now the person will say, yeah, what happened? Every day there's a law passed. Okay, every day there's a law passed, especially in our judicial system, because Professor Key have gone to court and he said some rocket thing and nasty thing about the president mother and all this kind of nasty stuff, which of course cannot repeat on the show. And he went to court, and the justice system said, you know what? That's freedom. He was doing this for that reason. He got. So now it became a law. But here's the thing: the next time when the person go to court again, all depends who the other judge will rule again. Okay, they'll use the MCC case. Now we got a law on the book. They will go to MCC, and the judge found them. You know what? MCC, you are guilty. Then if we go back to work, then see the law. Then Professor Key in the case, it's not. Is this anymore? We want to use the current state of the case and say, according to Judge Takwa, Takwa.
Yeah, but I agree. But we must also look at that.
July 10. This is a ruling. This is a ruling.
We should also consider
that's how the law works. So anytime the law when you go to the law change and go ahead.
We should also not forget that Prophet Key was not working in the employ of government. So apparently the law vindicated him because of that. But this brother, these people that have been fired were working within the employ of government. So can we also say that law, could be turned? Like what you say, I'm trying to agree with you that a new precedent could be set on the basis that they were civil servants working in the employ of government. Because the last time I checked, the president have the power to fire people within his employ. But within his employ, the president, those who the president employ, even though everybody that have been employed, including civil servants, have protection by the law. But the president also have the right, like it come back to the suspension case that happened to the CBL and all of that. So the president still do have some kind of a right to fire. So in my opinion, even though I'm a moderator, I don't want to side, but looking at it, I do think that they need to remain fired in as much as there's a public outcry. There are people up from the CDC saying a lot of things. They need to remain fired until the MCC boss can prove that his actions were right and just according to the rules that govern the MCC, code of conduct. Don't you think so?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, when you are fired, you have a right to take to go to court, because they were fired illegally, or if probably they don't have a union. I believe they don't have a union, but most places where people have a union, the union will file a grievance. But you got 20 days, or no, you got 10 days to file your grievance, or even if they fire you, you got 10 days to file your grievance. Why you were fired? Why you think you were dismissed illegally? You got 10 days to file your grievance. Then the employer have a right to reply within that 10-day period. Say it takes like 20 days, for them to go through it. If you're not certified, then you go for I'm speaking technically on the union side now, so right. And then we'll go for arbitration. The arbitration is also a lawyer. So that lawyer, who is the arbitrator, who would decide and say, okay, Mr. Jabalu, you are dismissed and you're dismissed. If you not agree with the arbitration, then you go further to the court. So these are processes we have to go through. But personally, I'm saying if the employer or the employee, I'm sorry, the employee or the employees, let them be spent or fire until the legal they'll go through the legal stuff. From there will determine whether there will be a precedent into the court. So it's also a deterrent. You see, going to court, it doesn't mean you are guilty. Going to court is for us to find the facts, whether you were wrong to me or I was wrong. That's what it is. That's what we are going there for. It doesn't mean that you yourself, people think, well, you and somebody go to court, that you're big enemy. No, you are not. It's just that what you said to me or what I said to you, it is right. Then the court will decide and say, you know what? That property is yours or the property is not mine. If you not agree, that's so we keep going to the
but do you agree?
Justice system.
Do you agree with the seditionists that are criticizing, like the likes of Jefferson Koji, criticizing the government for taking such actions when President Weah stood on his podium during his election, during his time when he was in power, and stated clearly that nobody will abuse the president, that anybody who is for abusing the president will not walk on the street. What do you have to say to that?
Terry, let me say this. The radio listener, you're listening very well. Let me borrow Mr. What's his name before they chime in about Project Rising. Fargon. Listen very well. It's not everything we got to make a political issue out of it or politics out of it. These people who have been dismissed, they are people who have family, who have wives, who have husbands, who have children. Their life is so. It's not every little thing CDC will go make political issue out of it. They got a lot of man. Jefferson Kuti said I even dignify him because he got a lot of skeleton in the closet. So I'm not even going to dignify whatever statement he makes. That's at least what I'm saying to you here is we must follow the rule of law, especially when you're in administration. This I think I'm talking about. But the employer have the right to say, you know what, you go to work today, they say, don't come back again. Huh? That's it. They got a right to say. If they want to keep you, that's fine. If you think that you were dismissed on just cause, that's why we'll go through the legal system. That's what it is.
So, having exhausted this topic, let us move to another topic that is adjacent to that particular topic on a discussion, looking at the honorable man, labor man, labor man, that is the Speaker of the House, fall apart with the same CSE boss. This guy, Joker, have become the head of the media now in every other era. So he is saying that according to the 1986 Constitution, the agency, I think the civil service agency, was demolished. So the civil service agency does not have the power. First of all, let's look at, do you think that the civil service agency have the right to do hair counts of the employees, civil service employees in the House of Representatives or in the House of Legislature?
You see, here's the thing. Before I got hired, when I was in Liberia working, I have to go take the civil service test. There were civil service tests were given to us, especially to those who were going to work in the government. I don't know what I said to it. And based upon that, it was prorated based upon your certification at the civil servant. You will get a certain amount because you went through the civil service. I just give you some genesis, and stuff like that. That's what I'm. And you will be able to be higher with the government. Okay, but 75% or 85% of our employees in our country, they're all government employees. So that's one of the things. But if the speaker know, when he realized that this, when he realized that law is or does not exist, simply with the people intelligent. That's one of the things we have as a leader. It's your responsibility to make sure things are work, especially when you are a speaker. When you speak, people listen. Moreover, you're not just an ordinary speaker, you are a lawyer. You are a lawyer. So anything you say, it got weight. It's not like Joe Blow, who in your office, even the Joe Blow in your office might have something. But you as a speaker, you are what? The president after the president, the vice president after the vice president, senator, you the fourth person in command to become president of the Republic of Liberia. If something ever happened in our country.
Yeah, he's the third person in line. He's the third person.
Yeah, third person in line. Okay, then the person. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're the third person. So your words, they have weight.
Right. So if I'm not mistaken, he is arguing that the 1986 Constitution actually established I think the Civil Service Commission, thereby nullifying Civil Service Agency. So then, but why were you working with the Civil Service Agency under President We are? You understand? But now you can't work with the Civil Service Agency under President Booker, and because you are claiming that the people that are within your employ falls under your rules and regulations. Do you agree with the honorable man, Speaker of the House, Fonati Kofa, on these allegations against the civil servants?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You as a speaker, anything that comes before it become law in our country, you have to bring it on the floor. You, Terry Renner, you're a representative from River G, for example. Before anything passed, even if you are written a bill, it got to go through the Senate. I'm gonna say not the Senate. It got to go through the speaker. He had a right to bring anything on the floor. Your budget, everything that passes in our country. He's responsible. So when the people, please let us be honest to our people. Terry, you are the speaker for Christ's sake, and you're making the decision. You know what you are doing? It caused some confusion within our society. You speaking as a lawyer. Let's look, I was put in the last time. The letter you wrote. You are a lawyer in writing such a letter, or you're making such a remark. So this thing got weight. They got weight.
So what I'm looking at, Mr. Bacon, is that do you think? I think the Senate. I think the Speaker of the House, Fonati Kofa, is kind of biased in his position, because he's saying that. Yeah, I think I don't want to render judgment on the speaker before he's ordered my arrest, but but what I'm saying is that but what I'm saying is that it seems that because the speaker is saying that, and I listened to also Mervyn Cole, one of the representatives from the House, justifying that the legislature have rules which give them the power to employ their own people. So that means that, and Mr. Kofa is actually denouncing the civil servants that are working within the House of Legislature. He is denouncing them from the civil servants of the country. So, if he, being the Speaker of the House, is saying and classifying that the people under him in the House, that are supposed to be civil servants workers or civil servants employees, are not civil servants under their civil servants, then where you think we are going as a country? Because I think that we're supposed to be fighting corruption. So do you think that this corruption thing really fights back? and it fights back in this kind of manner? Do you think this is how the corruption is fighting back in our country? Because the civil servants that are in the house are no different from the civil servants that are under the civil servants agency. But the Funati is quoting a law that says that because the civil servant agency was dissolved by the 1986 Constitution, which therefore brought into full swing the Civil Servant Commission, it means that the civil servants in the House of Legislature are not under the Civil Servant Agency. How do you consider such allegations that the Speaker of the House is levying against the executive branch of government?
You see, Terry, there's a key word you use there, the corruption. And I always say on the show, two things that are hampering in our country: white collar crime and organized crime in our country is harboring our institution, it harboring the development of our country, it harboring the development of our students today, and most of us people who's supposed to succeed us. And the locality is the norm. Here we are. See, the law is written in the sense is that it benefit and it become somehow beneficial to the representative in the Senate. What they are saying is, so if you are civil servant, you work with fire department, you are police officer, you are security, you are a civil servant. But so long I hire you to work in my office, so therefore you do not meet the criteria of the civil servant. So, folks, these are things we have to ratify these things because they always have issues. Because you're from River G, you're representative from District 1. After the election, guess what? You're bringing your own people. Okay? And you say, you know what? No, they are not protected under the civil service law because our brother in. And he said, no, because they are working in the House of Representatives, they are civil servant, but they are not civil servant with the Liberian government, but because they are working in the House, so they are how do you reconcile these things? So we able for us to get these things straightened, sorry, my brother. We have to follow certain rules and certain guidelines. These senators and representatives, they will bring in the chief of staff and stuff like that. When you are leaving, you leave with them. The other civil servants, they stay in the offices. They are professional and career people. They stay there.
Right.
And this is how it works in this country. As much as I don't try to compare orange and apple, but this is how we follow it. When they come in, they bring the chief of staff, they bring the individual. When they leave, when you come in as a Republican or Democrat, the people stay in that office. Because the people who doing research, every today,
Yes.
you're from River G. Let me pick up River G tonight. They are researchers. There are people who in that area. So you're not going to get rid of them because the only people that you're going to bring on the hierarchy, these are the people you're bringing. But these people stay there. They are government employees. Which one we call the civil servant? They're government employees. So it happened to most of us. We're going to have an election, but maybe next year, our governor. When the governor leave, he leave away chief of staff. The other people who are professional people, they stay in that office. So that's a problem we are facing in our country because when the senator come or the representative come, they will sweep the whole office. And they pay them from their pocket. They determine how much to pay you. You the driver. You the cook.
Right.
Come on, folks. Where are we going with this? You know what? These are the things that bring in the organized crime, the corruption, and the people who work in the place there, they become subordinate to the employees or to the employer because you are the representative, you pay them from your pocket, you determine what the salary is. So even the civil servant who in the office, probably they're making $100, you determine, say, I pay $75. Let me go further. You if you are a pastor in your church, when they hire you, you say you are a pastor.
Yeah.
Honorable Pastor, your salary is $75,000 a year. That's it. That's $75,000, right? That way you send your children to school. That way you will pay your mortgage. The same thing you can use to buy your car or gas. So the $75,000, that's what it is. But here, our people, we hire the representative senator, we pay for the gas, we get in car, we cash, let me put it that way. Yeah, we get in scratch car. What? How? Then the people who work in your office, you say, no, they're not civil servant. Oh, they are civil servant, but you know what? They work in the Capitol building, but they are not civil servant because they are not civil servant with the Liberian government. So how can you want to be working the same time to your group?
The law says, I was reading the code of conduct, no, not the code of conduct, but the CSA law. The CSA law says that members of the legislature are exempted from being under civil servants. Member of the legislature are exempted from civil servants. So who are they that are considered members of the legislature? The last time I checked, the members of the legislature was actually referring to those that are elected, not those that are working, like what you just said, those that are stationed in the house, that are responsible for researches and all those things. They are under the civil servant, but members of the legislature that are exempted from being civil servants are considered those who were elected in the office. So I think that our men then have to be looking at these laws carefully before they begin to make projections and statements, because it undermines their credibility and the fight against corruption. Because the last time I checked, Fonati Kofa was the deputy speaker of the House of Rep, and the CSA was in full swing under President Weah, and he did not rebut. He did not, bring all these constitutional controversies about the law creating the CSA. But now that they want to reprimand him and to check those that are in his employ, and the CSA board found out that there were 35 persons that was not qualified under the CSA law, that was in the employs of the legislature, the lower house. Do you think that Liberia is really able to fight corruption under President Bokar, knowing very well that the legislative branch, which happens to be the first branch of government, that's supposed to be responsible to reprimand the executive government for corruption, is now succumbing, is now caught between the scissors? How do you think that President Bokar is able to battle the fight against corruption as it starts with the CSA? How do you think he's going to do that?
Well, what's happening right now. See, you have to take a baby step before you start walking. And Bokar doing a little extremely well. I'm gonna mention on certain issue. It's first in our history that former government officials have been decided to go to court based upon their behavior or some allegation levied against them. And then we have the former Minister of Finance, we have the former Solicitor General who are facing charges of corruption. So these are steps we have to take. At the same time, what we say here, how to first or City Hall. These are chronic institutions. And Mr. Bokar is saying we must have a different view. From the beginning of my statement, I said, we'll go to court. It doesn't mean that I agree with you or you agree with me. So if you go to court and the judge says you're not guilty, So I might feel that you are guilty, but that's what the judge said. So what you ask me is, yes, workers have to be very vigilant to make sure these people are prosecuted. And take for example, look at $21 million is missing. How much is our population? 5 million people in our country. $21 million. It's adapted from the what? Or inserted into the budget. Nobody know where he came from. Nobody know after the budget was made. $21 million? Bucks?
But do you think that is the first time it ever happened?
Well, until we go back, but I mean, so far in the eyes of the law, I can't prove it.
So do you think that? Do you think we need to pull up all our budget to observe to see, like the past, the 54th legislature, the 53rd? Do you think we need to begin to go back now to start considering the budgets that were passed into law and see whether if there was some level of discrepancies and things that occurred that we did not know about, we did not capture, even though we have not gone to that topic yet, but we can glance around it before we go for our break. So
I agree with you. These are the things that need to happen because we are moving on a different direction. And that's how the law changed, because these things have been swept under the rug for a long time. Nobody never brought it. Thank God for what the guy name said. I think from district, what's the representative name? I forgot his name. Thank you for bringing it to light. And Terry, we have to work. We have to change the system. Yeah, we have to change the system. The system needs to work for us. That's what it is. We hire these people to work for us. We're not working for them. They're working for us. That's the taxpayer money. You might not be in America, you might not be in Liberia, but guess what? You got uncle, you got auntie, you sending money there every day. So yeah, if you feed it there, you're taking care of it. But yes, here's what I want to say, for argument's sake. $21 million. $21 million. Then they see $21 million missing, then we'll come to America to come borrow $21 million. Then we'll go to Germany. Germany, you give us, you go to France, you give us $21 million. What sense does it make? Maybe, please, let somebody call the show and tell me that maybe they will explain, or maybe your people who are writing, please explain it to me how much. The same $21 million is missing in our pocket. Then we'll call Germany. We're asking Germany, please give us $21 million. And Germany gave you $21 million. You know how many interest they're going to charge? Then we're asking people to give us $21 million to build a hospital. That's in $21 million. You know how many interest they're going to charge you for you to pay that $21 million, maybe in 10 or 15 years. You know how many interest how many penalty or interest they're going to add to it? There's somebody taking $21 million in the country, and there's no.
But
no action.
The acting finance minister said that no money was missing. Do you believe that?
He said allocate. That's the word he used.
He said relocate. So, those are the words he uses. Relocate and variance and all those kind of things. But those are accountant terminology. We cannot define, relocate and all those kind of things. So I rather never wanted to do it on that missing money, because the reason I don't want to do it on it is not yet established that the money was missing. It is not yet established fully, even though we're speculating that the money was missing, because there are senators. For me, I believe Amara Kone, because Amara Kone is an accountant. And the reason I believe Amara Kone worked in government that was very corrupt, and he was the finance minister. He knows exactly what can transpire between the House and the finance ministry. And that is the reason why most of the time the finance ministry cannot reprimand the executive when they're going wrong. because they always collide, they always agree. Thank you, Mr. So, for putting your number up. We'll soon, yeah, so the lines will be opening shortly, and those who want to call in to participate on the program, you have the right to call in. You know, as me and Mr. Bacon here, you know, just trying to discuss the issues that matters when it comes to Liberia politics. You can join us and call in. Mr. So is operating from the back. He's watching the program, and that is his number. So I will not be able to control it from here, but he will control, he will determine. The CEO is here with us. Thank you. So, Mr. Bacon, that is what it is. That I really never wanted to dwell on that a lot because, to be honest with you, it is not yet clear to us as to whether if a money was missing or so. But I do believe Amara Connor, because Amara Connor is an accounting. This was the guy who brought the Unity Party to power by the projection of numbers. So when Amara is telling you about numbers that he read on the projector that was read by the election commission. All right. So these are things Amara Connor projected. So right now, if anything Amara Connor says in that house, everybody are all ears, and everybody know that there is some resemblance of truth. But the problem here is that there are other senators that came up on public radio to say that was 6 million missing. Why? There were representatives saying that there were 20 million missing. But all in a nutshell, the battle against corruption remains to be a serious contender. So what do you think? What do you think happened? If you want for us to go into this money aspect, even though we're now diverting from the topic, but what do you think? Do you really think that money really got missing from this particular budget? Do you think money was stolen?
Well, you see, there's something called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence can become real evidence. Let me give you an example. I'm not in the classroom right now, but you stood up by your car. It's not raining. It's not raining, but the policeman came, the place is wet. He said, "Oh, what happened here?" He said, "You pee here?" He said, "No." So the water is there. I just gave you something for you to understand. The policeman said, "Okay, we'll charge you for public nuisance because you pee there." It began circumstantial. Actually, he didn't see you, to waste the liquid, or what kind of liquid is there, or the beer. Maybe you look at beer, you say, "Oh, you've been drinking." You say, "No, I don't drink." But when you tested it, so it's the began. So it began circumstantial, and circumstantial evidence can become real evidence. That's why I just want to, give a lady something. Here's a point, my dear brother, or our listener. You in your church now, or with your wife, you got $5,000 in your account. You took the money from there and say, I allocated the money from our checking account and put it into our saving account, or take it from our saving account and put it into put it into our CD, or take it from the CD and put it into miscellaneous fund. What is that? You took the money. What are you relocated or you allocated or you withdraw the idea? You are taking it from point A and take it to point B.
But the accusation here.
Okay. Who authorized you to do such a thing? It should have been a consensus. If it is done, like I listened to the gentleman or who spearheaded the thing. I mean, he has some good points. Because if you want to do it, it should be the consensus of the people and say, we're taking this money out of here from the representative before being sent to the Ministry of Finance. Yes, the Minister of Finance, he went on public radio and said, yeah, we relocated money into different. So, my brother.
Okay.
There's something going on. Well, we'll find out. So no crime go unpunished.
Okay. All right, Terry, you're doing excellent job. You're holding this guy down. He's tonight really you're getting it out of him. But Keto is on the line from Connecticut. Wilton Keto, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Are you here to rescue Mr. Bacon, Washington, or?
Well,
Let's beat on him. Hey, Ghana here tonight. Let him feel the pain, man.
yeah, thank you, Terry, for moderating the show tonight. And it's good to see Mr. Bacon. A lone man standing. His boss is not around. The Tabata laborer is not around. Yeah, but I mean the topic on the discussion, the topics are very, very important and very sensitive to our country. Like the first one you guys talk about, I would like to piggyback on it. Um, as far as the civil servant laws and the rights of the president. First of all, the president does not have right to fire civil servant. The people that he appoint in his government, they work at his will and pleasure. Those are people that he appoints in his government. The civil servant are people who are permanent. So president can come and president can go. They will be there. They are there. Um, for any reason where I do not know the work rules of the Liberia City Corporation, if the work rules of Liberia City Corporation states that that entity is apolitical, if the people do not, or the work rule states that, for instance, that place is apolitical, nobody should discuss political stuff there, and nobody should be political, and a worker is found in violation, I think they have, if that's the case, they have rules, they have a channel to follow to reprimand that person or punish that person. In the case of anybody, I work for the government of Connecticut or the state of Connecticut, and the department that I work in, my work rule states that we cannot get involved in politics and we cannot get involved in religion. If we are caught doing it, the first thing you get verbal warning. The second one we get written warning. The third one, it will be something that will be at the discretion of your boss. So either it will be expulsion or suspension or pay, something like that. What makes the case very bad is for the civil servant boss to dictate at a public hearing or the public or broadcasting, whatever you can call it in Liberia, Mika, right? Instructing the MCC boss to get rid of 9 people because they speak against this government, they speak ill against the government. And immediately it was implemented. That is what is very, very dangerous for our society. Where is the protection of freedom of speech? Where? And like you alluded to, Mr. Collins, you remember when the president legal advisor picked up a phone and called another branch of government to drop the case of 2 private citizens in the country under the same law? So where are we heading? I think this shows how tyrannical, this shows how dictatorial this administration is proceeding. And if we are ashamed to say it, then it's sad for our country because it's leading down a path that will not be good for all of us. We must call a spade, must call it for what it is, so that we cannot experience what we experienced back in the days. This is not right. So you want to tell me all the civil servants that went to the election during the campaign, they say you harmonize my vote, me harmonize my pay, I will harmonize the vote. You think President Weah had a right to say they were talking something bad against his government and fire all of them? You think we would have been right? There were civil servants. You harmonize my pay, it was government policy. Let's be honest here, man. For once, Josiah Jockett of all persons, when President William was announced president-elect, he was one of those persons that I not share the video with Lpr. He was one person that stood in the public and said Mr. Weah is not his president. Even his 6-year-old child will never vote for President Weah. Will never. Because he considered President Weah incompetent. He had already judged him. He had already found him guilty that this man is incompetent. They meant because of his incompetency, it will lead to dictatorial tendency. In fact, he's a dictator. He's a tyrant. He said before the man could even take office. He didn't say that he came to America and went to Nancy Pelosi office. and read a petition to the National Policy Office that is to sanction our Liberian government because the president is inept. They were doing XYZ. This is the man that is chastising a Liberian civil servant for speaking his mind on social media. And then we will sit on and justify or want to play politics with it. I think it's wrong. Let's call it for what it is. We cannot move our country forward doing these kind of stuff. And that's the reason why people say it's witch hunt, witch hunt, witch hunt, witch hunt. And it's sad. I don't think we can do that. As far as the legislature concerned and all that money aspect, I'm not really interested in it, to be honest with you guys. They will fight their own battle. They are a separate branch of government. They give themselves the right to make their own laws that govern them. They bring their own employees in. They employ their own people. They got central or whatever they got there, and so they do their own thing. I just hearing that there's a new law. I mean, there's a law that was on the book that say the civil servant agency is illegal. They call them the civil servant, I think, authority or commission. And Josiah Joker is not part of the civil servant commission. So I don't know what all that. So I'm not going to go into that. But the things that are happening in a society that is very dangerous today is people getting laid off because of the freedom of expression, and I think it's wrong. And I'm here to answer any question. I could leave the line, and you guys continue with the show.
No, you are panelist, so maybe Mr. So can keep you on if you. Then we can do one more round or two more rounds.
We're keeping on. Let Mr. Bacon face the heat here tonight, and whoever he wants to call.
You know, I'm shocked about my dear brother. How soon we forget? How soon we forget? Let me go back this evening. Terry and myself will be on this show. I said the government, for you to dismiss the people, they had a right to express themselves. At the same time, what is the policy of the thing? You come here and talk about this government. What happened to Joshua the first day he took office, my dear brother? Where he frees free calling. Free calling. Weekend free. Is it because you know why the people are gossiping? For that reason, he need to write the people of their rights. There's a business in that country. Second and Orange. These are private institutions. It had nothing to do with the government. And Joshua came the first day he took office in less than 72 hours. He told the people, to Orange, that you only get 40 minutes. After that, the 40 minutes, the people used to enjoy their free call, weekend free. And he posted that to it. So, my dear brother, please, when you're making this statement, look at there is a precedent that your president set in the past. So let's not go there. Wow, for me, I personally, I've been telling myself, been talking about it. There's a procedure. If the handbook required that, that's fine. I will hear to my working place. They say we're not discuss our religion. We're not discuss religion. So when we go to work, I don't talk religion in our workplace. You want to do your Bible business, you go in your car, you go pray. But when you come to work, you don't pray in the government building. I'm aware of it. That's what it said.
Mr. Collins, my mouth is itching. Let me the mouth part not hating.
So, come and see you.
Collins, he said, president. Who brought the president to us?
Which president are you talking about?
The president you were talking about.
I know which other president. I said George Weah. George Weah came to power. George Weah came to power in less than 72 hours. He said he frees. Nobody should get a free call.
Who was the security advisor that brought George Weah to power?
I don't know. You tell me who was that?
Who was the guy that waged a huge campaign that Rhode Island was one of the bases of George Weah? Tell us.
I don't know. You tell me.
Unbelievable. Okay, there's a caller there, Mr. Collins. I don't want to. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, on the line, Mr. So.
Hey, Mr. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good. The issue concerning Joker's statement that he made, sometimes when you want to do everything to please a leader, you can somehow go on the wrong road. He had the authority. You want to do this thing, do it behind the camera. Because once you come to the media, the political side will roll something. But if that thing was done, that you are going to call the Montreal State Corporation boss and talk to him on the phone to get on it out. I don't think that all the noise were going to be there. But what I want to bring also to the cover that they left on the line, when General Minister fired that lady, she was a civil servant. She fired a lady because she said the lady said, negative thing about the government. And they fired a woman, it was not a problem, but today it's happening, and people ain't getting that. The civilians are taking it, they can get on the line. And the third one are there is, I don't know what channel they are not discussing the two gentlemen that were arrested from the central bank today. The truck had $967,000 illegally. And the new acting a bank manager to the bank, reported it to the police and they have arrested. Why you are not discussing it also? But thank you for the show, Mr. So.
So we need to know that you're tune here. You wish you are wish of the Shen. Are you the Bois Shen or we are Shen or where?
I'm a born unit member.
Oh.
Yeah, but if your leader is doing wrong, it's good to look at your leader and getting so much tell them the truth. That this will not be good for all. But if we come here and start to address everything, and the thing are not going the right way, I don't think will go. Because every day people will call us from that place. But if we continue to bite the wall, and the wall is going to go on, our people bite that too, they are suffering. Even the German that we put them down, they are family member. We can't have their political differences that the people are children. School coming to open. You know what kind of gap that we have created already? Thank you, Mr. So.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, guys, Terry, you can take it away.
So, thanks to the callers and all of that, but so we are discussing specific issues because probably we don't have the time to go to that. That is why maybe we have not talked about that, the missing, the transferring of the money and all of that. But I thought that what we're discussing also is very important. And to Keto, I think what I'm reading here, Fonati Kofa is quoting the 1986 law that brought into place the Civil Servant Commission.
He dropped anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, he dropped off the line. But let me speak to Mr. Back on something here. The topic we're talking about has absolutely nothing to do with minis when President Weah took office. When you're talking about Cellcom and Lone Star, it was those entities that were asking the government to drop the 3 days free call because they were losing a lot. It was not the decision of the government or President Weah, and it has nothing to do with somebody who's giving free speech being fired from their job at the command of a 770. It's fine. I don't know why you will even make such analysis or even make argument in such a way. At least the caller Akin said something that I don't know, that somebody spoke against the government according to him in the gender ministry and they were fired. At least if you can make that kind of argument, we can say yes. But for you to go to when President Weah came to office, he banned the 3 days free call. It's ludicrous. It's far from what we are discussing here. And the thing about it is, okay, don't forget about you helping to bring mobilizing for President Weah to come to office. All of you people sat and said what he did, everything he did was wrong. Y'all will make it right. Why are you people following his footsteps now? If you did everything wrong and y'all will make it right, why are you following your footsteps?
But
this is what we say.
So, Keto, do you agree that those things, some of the things President Weah did were wrong? Do you agree tonight?
I say, according to everything President Weah did was wrong. Why? And for me,
but do you also agree?
100%. I mean, he was not. It was not all roses. It was, and no government
Okay.
would do everything 100%. But what I'm
Okay.
saying,
Yeah. But do you
if
agree?
the
Do
office
you
of
agree?
the office on, I say you will do everything different from what this man did, and everything you're doing now is even more than what this man did in the past. To me, it does not even add up for conversation
But
like this, for argument.
Keto now. Okay, Keto. Let's agree. Let disagree to agree. You hear me? Okay. Do you agree
I'm hearing
that
you.
President we have said that nobody will talk, nobody will abuse the president? You remember he said that openly that if you abuse the
I
president, you're not walking on the street.
remember the instant when he went to dedicate the market in what the place, the Dubo Road, and he said people just openly insult the leader, the president, especially at the time you had Prophet King insulting the president, mob, people on the street just insulting the president, mob. It was getting to him. He said anybody insult the president, he will deal with them. Okay, but
Okay.
the next
Do
day,
you think? Do you think that was right?
anybody got arrested? Nobody got
No,
arrested.
no, wait now, wait. But we saw people be
Human. I mean, somebody just
yeah,
insult
Keto, wait now.
the
Do you
president.
think that the statement of the then president was right?
I think it was not right, but he's a human being. But did any action come from all of it? No. Did anybody get arrested for
Okay.
insulting? No. Anybody? No. Today,
Okay, but do you
the
also remember?
I was insulting him. At that time, say the day he can't do this. Mo Ali, all the people came on. The acting president, we are talking about blood. He can't do nothing. Today, they are acting upon somebody who Facebook page says something contrary, and we have not even seen the person Facebook page. What he put on the social media, we have not seen it. He was just moved because, according to them, his Facebook page says something denigrating about the president and the government. And this is what we should be talking about, Collins. You sit here and you have the right to voice your opinion. Mr. Token go on LBS and voice his opinion. Mr. Token said Joshua is in F. We put our foot in our mouth. All the people can go and say whatever they want to say. They are free to move anywhere. But when somebody else say, the thing about it is tolerance. We have all
Keto, Keto, you got to understand.
for this.
You got to first of all, you guys had to admit. You don't like to admit, but you want other people to admit to their wrong, but then you don't want to admit to your wrong. Then you are not being balanced.
But
You know.
I told you here that there was nothing that I was not 100% on a president. There was misstep on a president. President. We are alluded to that.
But you said that President Weah's statement was wrong, but he's a human being. So when you say he's a human being, that means you justifying that what he said was right.
Oh
That is what you listen. I'm coming. That is what you mean. You undercutting. You giving an excuse for his action, which means you are in support of the action psychologically.
His dead mom, his great grandma. How many persons have done that on social media, widespread, that everybody listen to in the country? Nobody.
On who now? On
So,
who?
what on President Boaka?
People have
President
done that.
was all over the place, from America to Europe to Africa to Liberia, everywhere.
People are doing that even now.
You-
But anyway, let us not have a dialogue. This is an interactive show. I'm just a moderator. You know, I'm supposed to be balanced. I'm not trying to take a side. What I'm saying, that is your opinion. You understand that? And it is right. I think you made a point. It is true that the Boyka administration cannot continue to do business as usual as the way it was done under President Weah. I think that is the point you're trying to make, which means you are also acknowledging that there were things that President Weah was doing that this government is doing likewise. So in other words, you knew that.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, yeah. So I get your point, and I think that is a fine point, that we should not be doing business as usual as the way business was done under President Weah. So yeah, I think from all of the criticism, there were a lot of people who criticized Josiah Joker's statement, and we cannot sit here and don't be on the side of the Liberian people. We also will join the many voices that have criticized Josiah Joker's statement by saying on public radio that because you abuse the president, you are supposed to be fired. So we also want to join the voices that criticized it. Mr. Bacon did not agree to it. Mr. Bacon criticized Josiah Joker and I asked him over and over. And he did criticize Josiah Joker for Josiah Joker's statement.
Really?
However, yeah, didn't you do that, Mr. Bacon?
I said it. I said that as well. I said no. I said he didn't do it. I said that's why I said it's wrong.
Yeah,
It was
he
wrong
said
yesterday. It was wrong today.
Josiah, because I asked him the question 2-3 times. He said Josiah Joker. He said Josiah Joker was political.
I thought he said he was supporting Joker in of his statement. Why you want to?
Never said. I never said.
They denounce.
Did you say that, Mr. Bacon?
Go play by my statement. Go play by my statement. Go play by my statement.
Yeah, so Mr. Bacon did condemn.
This is what I said. I will say repeat myself. I said, listen, Mr. the MCC, whoever he is, for him to go on the air and say such a statement, it's ludicrous. That's nonsense. Let's be realistic about that. There's a policy.
So in this last segment, even though we
let me address Mr. Tete. Anyway, I'm not going to address it. I just want to say something straight. Here is the president. Here is the president of the Republic of Liberia saying he's a human being. For that reason, people who insulted him, he was reacting. But I ever reacted. I'm not justifying what the MCC boss did to dismiss people. But Bwaka, he said, never even speak on the issue. Yeah, it's the president, sitting president of the Republic of Liberia, making such a statement from your own state, from your own mouth this evening. That's not Bwaka position. Bwaka, I have not even spoken. These are Bwaka position.
Does that have to come on the social on the video?
No, I just want to make it clear.
At least he's implementing his surrogate or his lieutenant implementing what his position is.
Can you give me a chance when you were speaking?
If not, you will condemn the poor and say, no, you can't fire poor for the spirit of peace. But he has not spoken about it, so it means he accepted what is going on. Did Bwaka come up to condemn what his
CSA president? Your president, you are supporting, or you are supported, or you stay supporting. But you said it. Bwaka have not said a word on that issue. He left for the administration. So that's what it is. That's why I just want to bring it to your point.
Okay, so since you guys are fighting over this issue, I really wanted for us to progress to another stage, but you guys are still scrambling. So, Mr. Bacon, do you think that President Bwaka, by not coming up to say anything or taking any action as the way it was with the Yeke Koluba issue, wherein Mark Jabate came up and made some very, very scary threat on the life of Yeke Koluba, and up to now the president did not fire or suspend Yeke or Mark Jabate or any one of them. He has not said anything. Do you think that by the president being silent is a sign of consenting that Josiah Joker did the right thing?
No. Listen, when it comes to Yeke Koluba, it's before the legal system. So the president cannot just go and intervene. It's before the judiciary. The judiciary is a responsibility. They are taking Bwaka. Let me say Bwaka. Jabate did a wrong thing by saying he want to get mercenary from from Russia to come assassinate the sitting or representative, which was nonsense. Which of course and I agree for you to take somebody's life. But it's before the justice system. Let the justice system play that role. So that's what it is.
Yeah, but the question you didn't answer. Do you think that by the president of Liberia, in person of President Bwaka, not responding to the statement Josiah Joker made is a sign that he's in favor of that statement by recommending that the MCC boss fire those 9 persons because they're abusing?
Not because he concerned with them, but there's a system going in place. So Mr. Bwaka not going to join before the man. He have to wait. The people have the legal right to go through the process. So then the process played out. If the process played out, then Mr. Bwaka will speak. But at this time, it's irrelevant for him to come and say, oh, Mr. Managing Director of Morera City Corporation. For the reason, no. Then the system play out. The people taking the case before the judiciary. So before the judiciary, let them make that decision.
So if you were the president of Liberia, what will you do?
Mr. Bwaka going to go and speak before. He's not going to. Now when you go before the The case before.
So if you were the president of
Why?
Liberia, knowing very well that it's hard in the country and there are a lot of jobs and all of that, and you came to rescue, what would you have done after your CSA boss made that pronouncement at Maca and action was taken immediately? What would you have done?
Listen, that's what I listen. That's what I said. It is before. It's not before Maine to make that decision. It is before the judicial system. Let the judicial system play his role or her role into the system. That's why we have judicial system to follow it. I can't go as a president of the Republic, or if I were advising the president, I'll say, Mr. President, you have let the judicial system play it out. That's what we are there for. That's why we have a justice system. That's why we have the justice of government. You can't go to the marshal and say, oh yeah, because of this. No, then they say, oh yeah, because the man said something about the government, so he fired them or he reinstated. No, the president have a limit. That's why we got the justice system.
Mr. So, you got something to add to coming to contribute?
Can I just
What are you
yeah.
supposed to do? You're doing great.
Can I just
Yeah,
just
Keta, coming.
back on that? So this is the thing, Mr. Bakker cannot even answer the question straight, right? Terry.
I said that's straight. I said the whole judicial system. Is it based upon your opinion?
Action of MCC, I think is a no-brainer. It's a condemn. The legislature condemn it. Liberians are condemning it. The president should, immediately call the MCC boss to reinstate the pool. In the case of Mark Jabate, right? Mark Jabate, because Mark Jabate worked at the will and pleasure of the president. Mark Jabate threatened the life of another branch of government official. All right, the first branch of government official going on his own record. His voice is there. It's not like somebody say he's saying. It was his voice that he would kill this man. If this man talk bad about this president, he would kill this man. The next thing we saw the president shaking my Jabate hand and pointing to him and laughing. Is the video on the pictures on social media. All right. So it tells you as a person that the president endorsed the action of those people that defend him. That the president is not in for freedom of expression, freedom of speech as he enjoyed when he was in the opposition. He does not have the gravitas, the skin, the thick skin to absorb. You understand the level of freedom of speech he experienced when he was opposition. He does not have it, and so anybody coming to his defense to say anything that if anybody insult this president or denigrate this government, we will do X, Y, Z. It's at the pleasure of Mr. Blanca. This is the reason why Mark Zapata still enjoy the confidence of the president. All right? Because in a civilized society, Mark Zapata would have been either placed on suspension and wait for the court to decide, or even fire. Because now, even if they fire him, the lawmaker can still take in the court for threat on his life. It has nothing to do with his employment with government. It's something to do with another citizen or life involved. You understand? So we should not come here. I mean, Mr. Bakuna, everything you have to defend. This government is proceeding wrongly. The sooner you start to put it out there, the better they will straighten up, if they will straighten up. I think if we do that, it will do good for us. Then they'll continue to dig hole and dig hole and dig hole and dig hole. By the time you know it, we all gonna go under and nobody will be able to rescue nobody. You understand? I think that be saying that when you talk to your boss or Mr. Toll, the Tabata or Progressive, when you talk to him, the Tabata Liberal Progressive, you tell him, because he has another big platform. When you go on his platform, then he speaks truth to government. Then he tell the Liberian people the truth. Then he tell the president and the people that are in this government how to proceed. Liberia has to move forward. Our country needs to unite.
Can I come in, Terry? Terry, can I come in? Can I come in?
Yeah.
Keto. Can I come in?
Come in with a rebuttal. So
yeah, come in with a rebuttal.
Because we got 5 more minutes. 6 more minutes.
Talk about Tabata. Here is Josh Weir, a setting precedent. Let's forget about what is it? A setting precedent. People's lives were taken. The Auditor General died on his watch. And what the president said? The people were having fun in their car. dare you say that to the Liberian people? People die. And you're going to come here tonight and justify and try to talk about that here? What guy is saying? When that picture was taken, when you shape Jabata hand, when that picture was taken, here is the president. Say the people die from carbon dioxide on Broad Street. You must say sitting in our cars, wind, especially Liberia. It's a summer 365 days. It's rain, sunshine. People sit in the car. They say they die from carbon dioxide. And you're going to come here tonight on Liberian public radio and say, oh, Bwaka shook hand with where he need with Jabata. Jabata case is before the judicial system. They play now. If he found guilty, he had been to the police station. He left for the police, he left for the county attorney or the district attorney or the minister of justice to press charges. Or where he needs it. The representative, J.K. Koluba, to go press charges or threaten the lives. Okay? If you can't prosecute him, the state can prosecute him. If what he need, the representative decide to do it. For you to come here tonight and justify and try to say this, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Wow. So, however, yeah, we got 4 more minutes to get out of here, Mr. So.
Can I ask, Kato, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I think Mr. Barker asked a legitimate question, and maybe let me just add to it. Talking about people should come out to speak. Do you remember seditions coming out to speak truth to the power, even though despite of their support to their president, some of the things that were happening? Do you think, I know some, but do you think they did enough?
No, I don't think seditions, I don't think, to be honest with you, people came out in the diaspora and they spoke. I don't think the ones that were in Liberia, especially in government, or even the strong supporters, I didn't see them say or speak against some of the things that were going on in the government or front. But people in the diaspora, and somebody said maybe, and I for one, I say I would not have made such a statement when those people died in the car. Would have let the investigation play out whether they died from carbon monoxide or not. But this the thing, brother. So if you said that everything Wilton did was bad, or 75% of what Wilton did was bad. When I come there, Mr. So come there.
Hold on first. Why you think those that were in Liberia, why they couldn't speak? Is it out of ignorance, deliberate, or they just
sometimes it's the same reason why today we see people not speaking up, maybe because of sycophancy, maybe because the empire is the empire, everything he wears, everything over the country revolve around him, and it's bad for our society. And this the kind of, you and I we both to stand and speak.
Want to wrap up now. So do you think that was one of the things that led to
Mr. So it's up to you.
It's a lesson learned. So you're trying to give Mr. Bacon an honest advice, right, from your own experience.
Exactly, and I found out that let me be honest with you. I found when the president made that statement, no investigation a president should weigh in, especially when citizens die. I think the president should wait. And if you want to weigh in, is to send his condolence to the family. But I think the president spoke fast. And if I was around, if people advising, I would not even align to even say anything on that stuff and let it play out. But what I'm saying here today, we're saying the same thing, brother. So that is spilled milk. It's already wasted. We cannot go back to it. What we're saying here, you said you would do it differently. You said you would do it differently. Why are you not even multiplying what president, according to you, what president we are did? Is what I'm saying here. And if we want to move this country forward, we cannot continue in the footsteps of President Weah. I think it's the President Weah are going left. We should be going right. We should not even be continue going right. Left with President Weah. Then it doesn't make. Then why did we vote President Weah out? Because the propaganda in the CDC-led government at the time was this man did not do right. He killed people. He did this. He did that. He did the other. When you come to office, he was corrupt and other things. When you come to office, you start corrupting the system. You start doing even more than what President Weah did. Then how can we justify anything that you're doing? I'm not justifying.
Mr. Keto,
I'm just calling a spade a spade.
So are you admitting that President Weah did things that was wrong? And
Bro,
that you expect President Booker to do better than what he did.
in simple Liberian balance, I say yes. President, we have said did some things here. I'm here. Government did some things that were not decent or were not correct.
No, not his government. President Weah.
That's the reason why he was voted out. Because there are some things. Let me tell you some of the things President Weah did that I myself I found out. I don't know about other people. Maybe one, he was not speaking to the nation frequently to inform the nation of stuff. People found out, even his own base found out he should come out and speak more frequently, but he was not doing that. Two, he stayed out of the country too long. Three, when the auditor died, they put it on him, and then he came out and made a ridiculous statement over that. Those are all things that play with him. The people were talking about Samuel to leave and all that kind of stuff, and he didn't listen to them. Those are missteps he made. We can admit to that. We cannot sit down here some of his things that.
My last question to you.
What we say here, when you come
Mr.
tell us, yes.
My last question to you, right? Let's find a way forward. Okay, we keep going in cycles. If you were given the opportunity to meet President Booker now, what would be your recommendation?
My recommendation to Mr. Booker, our country is divided equally, 50-50, if you like, right? As a president, the responsibility is on your head to unite the people. I will advise President Booker to first reach across the aisle to bring President Weah and the seditions together on his government to move forward.
And what could you recommend? One of the things you could recommend in bringing people together? How he's going to do that? What would be your recommendation in regards to that? If that was
all the opposition, at least calling on all the opposition leaders to a specific, let's say a big dinner or whatever, and bring all about his policy and how he wants Liberia to be united. They will intend to take the message to the different constituencies to bring the country together. The first thing he's got to do, stop the witch hunting. We didn't say don't investigate. And stop the witch hunting.
Does that include that he should not investigate people that were foreign corruption?
No, I didn't say that. Just what I just said. I said he should stop the witch hunting.
So let's go to Mr. Bacon. Yeah.
Corruption.
Thank you very much.
Stop it.
Mr. Bacon, what could be a recommendation if you had a one-on-one sit down with President Booker today? What would be your recommendation? Is that one thing that you think is missing, or that one thing that you want him to implement? What would be your recommendation?
Justice. Stupid. If I can borrow Bill Clinton phrase. You calling me stupid? Justice. That's it. Let the judicial system play its role. That's the only way that Liberia will be on her feet. It will have the justice system working. You will say we are in a great United States because of the justice system. Tonight,
are you saying that?
Hold on, sir.
No, wait. Are you saying that Interpol should arrest Samuel Tuer? Is that what you're saying tonight on the show?
Yes, sir. I said it before the day it happened. The day that man came, I said let Samuel Tuer, let them pull the warrant out there for Samuel Tuer, let Interpol pick him up and bring him to Liberia for justice.
So, however, to turn it, before I turn it over to Mr. So, I think I would want to agree also with Keto. Recommendation of unity is very important. Ellen Johnson said he had the reconciliation, she had a reconciliation program. I think President Booker have not embarked on that action yet. I really think he have not embarked on that action enough to do some level of reconciliation. I don't know if he even have a reconciliation program to bring people together in the country, because the country as it stands, even though I'm one of those who have been talking against that, but I think that the country need reconciliation, especially with a lot of people now, demonstration everywhere at the labor ministry, even though we didn't have a chance to talk about that, people saying that they were put out of jobs and all that. I think President Booker need to create something of reconciliation. I also want to agree with Mr. Bacon that President Booker need to look at the justice system. He need to restructure it and all of that. I will just give you a chance to finish up and then go back to Mr. So to close up the show. Mr. Bacon.
Sure,
when you ask for reconciliation, Mr. Booker is doing reconciliation already. He have crossed the party line. He have brought people from CDC working his government. So it's not anything strange. What do you want him to do? You don't have to say, oh, this is the person here. He have brought people from different spectrum. We all are Liberians. Based upon your political affiliation, people working in government. So it doesn't matter. But here's the point I want to make.
Okay.
You know, my dear brother, they always talk about Boakai. We passed that bridge already. The only time someone will respond to it because they bring in something, that's all. But look, we are moving forward. Boakai is moving forward. Okay? Boakai is moving forward. We're not going to do view mirror imaging, what has happened in the past. It's just that we're making reference to it. But Boakai is the man of peace, a man of integrity.
Did I hear you say he brought people from CDC to work for him? So that is the reconciliation strategy?
As we work across his spectrum, he will work across his spectrum. And CDC, if you are qualified, Mr. Boakai will employ you. We're not limited to anybody.
But do you have a specific reconciliation policy? Or do you think that reconciliation is important for our society today?
Oh yeah, reconciliation is important. I mean, after 20
but
years,
do you have do President Boakai have President Boakai have a reconciliation strategy in his political agenda for the country? Do he have a reconciliation strategy? If so, have you seen it?
Listen, Mr. Boakai is a man of peace, a man of reconciliation, man who want to put our country together. He's not a man who believes in divisiveness. Whether you CDC, whether you Sedition, whether you Liberty Party, whether you Unity Party, when you are qualified, you will be working in Boakai government.
Okay. You got anything else to say, Mr. Bako?
Yeah, we have all I want to say.
Last word, 1 minute,
yeah,
and then Keto 1 minute, and then
that's my closing. That's my last word. God willing, I will come back tomorrow morning. I'll be here. Let me say this. I want to say this vividly on this show tonight. I will say it again. This is how it works. My brother, Carter, let me tell you about CDC. You don't know more CDC than I do. I know CDC from the starting date until the starting end of CDC. The CDC is still a party. Okay? If you look at the constitution of CDC, Jerry Bacon, the co-chairman of the CDC. Go read it. If you look at the grievance committee, Jerry Bacon, the co-chairperson of the grievance committee. So there's nothing in CDC, Jerry Bacon, no. I left CDC because of personal issues that I felt that it was not going right that I left CDC. So you can't come and lecture me about CDC. I know more CDC than you think you know. Need anybody in CDC from 2004. You were talking about that you didn't even know the day of CDC was funded. And who are the founding members? You don't know. I can send you pictures right now. So but I passed that stage on CD when it comes to CDC. So I just want to make it clear. I left CDC because of personal reason. I didn't do a CDC. CDC, I asked CDC and I asked me, Jerry, you want to come back? No, I don't. I peaceful. Peaceful time. What position you were holding? Minister of General Affairs. The Samuel Tuer. These are people. James Corley, right in Minnesota. Go ask James Corley, right in Minnesota. Coffee. Ellis Coffee. I mean, these are the architects when it comes to CDC. But however, that's long gone. But yeah, what I want to say. There's a new government. All we want is peace in our country. That's why we want to have our political view. But all we want here is one stability in our how to govern the country, that's all. Maybe you think you can do it the right way. I think I can do it the right way. So the people have made their decision that they hire Mr. Boakai to run the country for another more 6 years. That's what it is.
Yeah, Keto?
Yes, Brother Collins, thank you. So let me get erect some checkpoint here. The age of Methuselah has nothing to do with the wisdom of Solomon. All right, I don't care how long who are there at the beginning of the creation of CDC or what you fell by the wayside. Something that you said It's up to you. It was personal. It's up to you. CDC movement is an institution. It's a group of people, organization, and it move on. You tell and still have men on board, and CDC is still strong going. It's a political institution. I don't have to know nothing, or nobody has to know nothing about the beginning, how you created, who are the foot soldiers and all that kind of stuff. All we know this is it's a vibrant, big base or large base political group in our nation. And you should be proud of yourself that you are part of a group that today is so significant in the country. You should be proud of yourself for that, Mr. Bako. Having said that, Joseph Boakai, the Liberian pool voted for him. It does not mean he should just do whatever for the Liberian people country or the country Liberia. That's not his farm. They voted for him and implore him to make sure that he execute those things that will bring glory to them. They didn't vote for him to become a dictator. They didn't vote for him to put his people, his family in government. The thing he spoke about from his predecessor his former boss, Ellen Johnson Sally, nepotism, squandering opportunities. He said all those things. The Liberian people didn't vote for him to do the same things that he spoke against. The Liberian people voted for him to make everything right. If not everything, at least 75% right. But I see that people like Mr. Bargon, people like the capital liberal progressive, people like Mr. George, all right? We don't know where he leaning, whether he leaning left or right or in the middle. We don't know. George? All right? If by George will come on. I want to start trouble. People like the mathematician. I want you to come on. You come on. People like the mathematician. This is not a math. 1 + 1 is 2. No. People like the mathematician will come here and talk tapata and go on EFBC and talk tapata. We will not make them to have that pass here free. We will erect the checkpoint. I don't care what they say. They will not push us around. We are here to stay. And again, Mr. Terry did a wonderful job by moderating the show. But you know what? Let's face the fact. Let's call a spade a spade. Above all else, Liberia. Joseph Boakai will go, President Weah will go, all the other people will go. Liberia will mean we have to be very or truthful when it comes to our nation, not to government. Because government have not done our people good years in, years out. And if we want that country to develop, to move forward, we should all speak truth to power regardless of how we bring them in or how we take them up. We should tell them the truth so they can deliver. Because when they deliver, you don't have to worry about bad rules again. When they deliver, you don't have to worry about criminals snatching your phone or robbing you at gunpoint. When they deliver, you don't have to have people dying, women dying in childbirth. You understand? When they deliver, our people will not be leaving the country to go abroad to seek medical attention. Those are things that we should be talking to make this government function properly, instead of defending the negative and the evil that this government is bringing upon its people. I don't care if and I'm speaking like this because I'm an independent. And if President Weah comes back to power, I'm not going to change. I'm going to speak the same way. If he does not do the things that he said he would do, we will speak. You yells.
Okay.
If I don't do it,
thank you very much. I think your 1 minute is over now, and we have to go. Mr. Soul, thank you for the show. I turn it over to you, Mr. Bakon. Good night.
Before Mr. Bakon go, I would turn it over to you. I would say, Terry, Mr. Bakon, thank you so much. I think it was excellent moderation. The conversation was, he can spoil our he was never humiliated. You asking legitimate question. I know Sam Sinto is sending me text here now. Oh, so you and Terry and all your gang on. Oh my God! So I just letting you know now. That woman, he's something.
Wow.
He planning.
But the question, me and Mr. Bakon had a good conversation though.
And Bakon knows, God knows it. You were never humiliated truthful questions were asked, even though he deflected, put on his police bulletproof jacket, some questions he carried them. But it was good you brought him back to ask some of those questions. But I think it was great, and I think maybe we can talk behind say we can keep doing that. I think LPR should survive. Whether I'm here, Lpr is here, Bakon is here, we can do setup. So I mean, thank you so much for covering up tonight.
Yeah.
I think I will fire Dr. Mali as my co-host. You will, yeah.
No, don't put me in trouble with Dr. Mali.
Yeah, Mr. So.
Don't put me in trouble.
I want no friend.
See you. I never felt I was humiliated. We had a good conversation. I mean, for me, I let it interact. That's you. Let's put it is. You know, let's have a discussion. That's what I want. You know, I don't take it personal.
Alain, you salary here, is that true?
Salary where?
Huh?
Oh yeah, working. I want salary. I want salary here. Yeah, I want salary.
You're sure, yeah, bye. Okay. Mr. Okay, guys. Thank you so much to all of our people. I think it's important that we do this. Whether in of our absence, everybody should have the right to, to showcase. And I think Terry did a fantastic job. The conversation was savory. It was good. So thank you so much. By God's willing, we will. By God willing, to see Eugenius Beslow say that free call was a promotion. Okay. We want to thank you so much. By God's willing, we'll be back here. I will be hosting someone. I need to finalize that. I soon finalize that. A senior government officials. He used to be a regular guy, so he's not shying away. Now with the other guys who, when you talk to them, they agree, and then later on they go get their counsel and they say they're not coming. So I just need to come up with the date. It was only because of last 2 days not being too well. But as soon as I finalize that, a very important person is now in charge of a very important agency. It's in government, and we need to have a conversation about that. What he brings to the table, how he intends to reform that agency, and I will be getting in touch with him as soon as he confirms the date. We have a roll out right here. Until then, folks. Thank you so much, and thanks to Terry for sitting in for to carry out the program, Mr. Bakon, Ketot, Clarence, and all of the onliners. Your tweets, your comments, your suggestions, always rewarded to us. Thank you, and have a pleasant event. Bye-bye.